I heard about this synagogue that had a rat infestation. Have you ever heard about rats in the synagogue? Well, they couldn't do anything. It was terrible. They didn't know what to do. They called pest controls. They couldn't. And the rabbi said, leave it to me. I'll take care of it. A week after, that's it. The plague ended. No more rats in the synagogue. The board was amazed. They came to talk to the rabbi. What did you do? Very easy. I made them all bar mitzvah. They never came back. I want to talk to you today about spiritual DNA. Spiritual DNA. Have you ever thought about that? It's very interesting, very interesting. And because DNA is something we are very aware in this generation, right? Genetics, where we're getting our genetics, come from our parents. Sometimes it determines the color of our eyes, our stature, body type. It's amazing what you can learn from the genes that you get. But that is for our body. But what about our soul? Well, our soul comes from God. So we have what we call the spiritual DNA that doesn't necessarily come from our physical parents, come from our Heavenly Father. So it's something that sometimes we are not aware. And in the same way that the physical genes will determine certain characteristics, right? Because sometimes, for example, physical strength, you will see that there are different people training the same way. Some develop more muscles than others. Why? Genetics is different. But when we are talking about spiritual genetics, we are all the same, and we can all achieve the same results. Why? Because all our spiritual genes come from God. And this is something that we cannot change. There is no way to change that. Like it or not, God's DNA, it's on you. And the rabbis say that that is perhaps one of the explanations of the Brit Milah, the circumcision, as the entrance to the covenant, at least for boys, right? It's and I say this because this week's Parsha, the part that we are not reading this morning, is talking about the Brit Milah. It's talking about different things that happen at birth, from male, from female. So because it's talking about males, also it's talking about the Brit Milah. Why so important? Let me say it first from the halachic point of view. Circumcision was mentioned in the book of Genesis, right? But you should know that the book of Genesis is not really a source of halacha, of Jewish law, because there are events that happen pre-revelation. Okay? So it was necessary to repeat this commandment in an episode post-revelation. So basically, after the Israelites left Egypt. So in this week's Parsha, it says specifically that at the 8th day, baby boys, we have to be circumcised. And you see, the rabbis say that the circumcision is something that it should remind us about our spiritual DNA. Why? Because it cannot be undone the same way. It's something that is permanent in the same way that our soul and God's footprint within ourselves, it also cannot be undone. That's why, by the way, have you ever been to a bris? There is a part that sometimes we don't pay enough attention. With the moel will say, Keshem shenichnas labrit, ken ikanes letorah, lechuppah, ulemaasim tovim. And he says, the same way that the baby enter to the covenant, in the same way may the baby enter to the Torah, to the chuppah, and the good deeds. What does it mean, the same way? They said this is the only time that the blessing uses that word, the same way, in the way that you cannot undo it, right? They said the same way that the Brit Milah cannot be undone, may the study of Torah never be undone. May the sacredness of the marriage never be broken. And may the commitments to good deeds never change. It's a beautiful blessing. It's a beautiful blessing to preserve all those good things on the baby. But then what happened is after that beautiful blessing at birth, and there is a similar one for female, by the way, then life happens, and sometimes we get away from that beautiful concept. And then, unfortunately, we do get away, and far away sometimes, from Torah, from the sacredness of marriage, and from doing good deeds. We get away because life gets in the way. And the only influence sometimes we have is what I would say is the physical genetics and also the influence of the people who are around us. The way sometimes we grow up, the dynamics of our family also affect the way we behave, right? In society and also within the Jewish life. So if you live in a house that, you know, people don't go to synagogue, they don't talk about God too much, or they don't study Torah, it's going to start affecting you. And this is something that I was reminded Thursday evening that we have the Interfaith Seder at the campus. It was a beautiful, beautiful event that we do it every year. But it was one text there. I forgot about it. I totally forgot about it. That is, it's part of the Haggadah that we use with B'nai B'rith. That is talking about the 4 children of the Seder. Right? Remember? The wise, then you have the wicked, then you have the simple and the one who doesn't know how to ask. And this is an interpretation of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. He said it represents 4 different generations. The first one is the generation who came from Europe. So, you know, engaged and connected to God and to Torah, right? But then eventually the next generation is the one who start questioning things. And the next generation, it's very little connection that they have to Judaism, that we call it the simple one. And then eventually the 4th generation, they were so disconnected that they couldn't even ask anymore. And then on Thursday I was thinking, what a depressing text, because it means that doesn't matter where you start, you're always going to end on the same place. But then I realized, no, that's why we read about this on Pesach. To realize and to be conscious of that we are little by little getting detached from things that we should be getting closer to. Little by little we forget about our spiritual DNA. We forget about our spiritual genetics. We forget that part of God is inside ourselves. Little by little. But it means that the moment that you get aware of that is the moment that you can start a journey back to that place. And that's why the rabbis say that the month of Nisan, that we just started 5 days ago, is a time where we, if we give ourselves the opportunity, we can have an awakening from above. What does it mean? That it's a perfect time to remember our spiritual DNA. The month of Adar, the month of Purim, was all the opposite. Remember, the name of God is not even mentioned in the Megillah. It's all about this world and physicality. But the month of Nisan, when the miracles started to happen, right? The plagues to Egypt, eventually the waters of the Red Sea will split. It's a miraculous time to remember our spiritual genetics. And why is so important? Because you say, why is so necessary to do that? Rabbi, I can live a life without that, without synagogue, without Torah. And I will dare to say, perhaps, but only for a while. Because I believe that the only way we have to keep moving forward, despite all the challenges that we have in front of us, is if we remember our spiritual DNA and we nurture it. There is that much that you can do with your physical genetics. There is that much that physical strength can do for you. There is a point that if you don't invest on rediscovering your spirituality, life is going to overwhelm you. And we can see that very clearly after October 7. People who thought that they were the strongest people on earth started to struggle. They realized that they never pay attention to their spiritual strength until they started to come to synagogue. And I know many people that they got closer to God and to synagogue after these events. And as we can see that more challenging news comes to us, what is the best medicine that we have to remain strong and to keep moving forward? It's not physical strength that we need in this time, it's spiritual strength. And this is the month to rediscover that spiritual strength. But we have to give the first step. The same way that the Exodus didn't happen until the Jewish people cried out to God. This is the month of Nisan. The month where we can have, if we are bold enough, an awakening from above. And to gain that strength that we are going to need to keep moving forward regardless of the challenges that life may bring to us. Shabbat Shalom. And enjoy the month of Nisan and all the miracles that